You've seen a map of the U.S. Idaho is the one that looks like a boot in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm in the southeast part of the state. So I taught English and speech for 38 years, and I retired September 1st, 2019. And now I travel quite a bit. I have 2 dogs.
Hello, ma'am. This is Shruti. I'm studying 8th grade. Now I am going to ask you a question. May I pose you a question?
Yes, of course. I love your pigtails.
What is your favorite place in U.S.A?
Okay, my favorite place in the U.S. I don't have a favorite place. I've been to all 50 states in the U.S. I got the last 5 last fall. But a couple of my favorite places, I'll give you a couple. There's a volcano on Maui, which is one of the Hawaiian islands. It's called Haleakala. It's also part of a national park. And I went there to see the sunrise in April of 2021 when we went there. So that's one of my favorite places. I just went to Glacier National Park and to Hell's Canyon, which is deeper than the Grand Canyon. Most people have heard of the Grand Canyon, but not Hell's Canyon. The river that carved Hell's Canyon is called the Snake River, and it traverses through Idaho and goes to the Pacific Ocean. I think it may flow into the Columbia. But I like a lot of different places in the US. Key West, Florida. It's hard to name a favorite place. It's easier to tell you places I don't like Kansas. I don't like Kansas. And I don't like Eastern Wyoming. The only thing about Wyoming I like is Yellowstone National Park. So.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I don't like Mount Rushmore, where all the presidents are carved. Ugly place.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Kusma.
Hello.
I'm studying 8th grade. Shall I ask you a question, ma'am?
Oh, of course.
How many countries have you visited so far?
I don't know. I haven't tallied them up. I've been to a lot of Caribbean countries. I've been to China, and I went to Iceland this summer, and I've been to Ireland, to England, to I told you Iceland, let's see, France, Germany, Austria, Czech Republic. So those countries, Mexico, I've been to Mexico a lot. I've been to Canada. So I don't know. I've been to a lot of Caribbean countries, and I haven't, as I said, I haven't tallied up the number. Hello.
8th grader, would you allow me to ask you a question? Which country do you like most?
Oh, which country do I like most? That's really difficult too. I loved Iceland. I love waterfalls, and I love chasing waterfalls, and Iceland was beautiful. I really, really liked my trip to Ireland as well. Both of those were road trips. And last summer, we went to Costa Rica, which was phenomenal. So one of my favorite things I've done, probably my all-time favorite thing I've done in traveling, was going to Tortuguero National Park and watching sea turtles lay their eggs about midnight. And as far as my favorite museum experience, that was in Madrid, Spain, and I saw Pablo Picasso's Guernica. They don't let you take photos of that, but that was the big bucket list item for me, so I really enjoyed that.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. I'm Saina.
Hello.
8th grade student. Ma'am, I would like to pose you a question. Can I pose?
Your question, which country, is this the speaking skills?
How do we improve our English spoken skills?
How do we improve our speaking skills? Is that
yes.
That's the question? Okay. All right. Well, I taught speech. So you're doing in terms of your speaking skills with a second language, you're practicing English and using conversational English, that's superb. But when you're speaking in front of people, there are two things that you can do that are the best things for improving your speaking skills. One, be well prepared, know what you're talking about, and practice. So you've heard the saying, practice makes perfect, but I like the saying, perfect practice makes perfect. If you repeat the same mistakes over and over, then you'll continue making those. So you have to tweak and keep plugging away at it. I think speaking is one of those things that we can always improve more.
Thank you.
I do agree.
You're welcome.
What are the famous places in your country?
Famous places that I've been to? Well, man-made places like Disneyland. Everybody wants to go to Disneyland, huh? So I've been to New York City, and September 11th just passed, and I went to, in 2019, I went to the memorial for the terrorist attack on New York City. So famous places I've been, a lot of national parks. I mentioned Yellowstone, Grand Canyon, Glacier National Park, Yosemite National Park, Mesa Verde National Park, Gettysburg, that's a historical site from the Civil War. I've been to a lot of the memorials in Washington, D.C. The Vietnam Memorial is my favorite one. The Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., the National Memorial for Peace and Justice in Montgomery, Alabama. Not very many people have heard of that one. And the Legacy Museum, that's also in Montgomery, Alabama. So I've been to a lot of places. So when I travel, I make a list of places that I want to go and go there. Niagara Falls, I've been there. And so I don't know. We probably don't have time for me to list them all.
Thank you for sharing. Next.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
My name is Sushali from ZPHS Ilavaram School. May I pose you a question, ma'am?
Of course, yes.
What are your free time activities?
What are my favorite activities? Well, I mentioned travel quite a bit already. I do love to travel, and I like working out a little bit in the yard and hiking. I love to hike and I love to chase rainbows. Reading, I love to read. Watching HGTV, that's kind of a guilty pleasure. Do you know what that is? It's home and garden television, and it's a home improvement channel. I know you get a lot of American television, don't you? And so I watch Netflix sometimes. Let's see, what else do I love to do? I don't like cooking, but I like to eat. And so I cook, and I like having things tidy. So I make sure that sort of thing is done. But hiking, I love hiking.
Have you ever watched the Indian movies?
Okay, yes.
What is your opinion about India?
What's my impression of India? Well, I don't have a firsthand impression since I haven't been there, but my impression of the students are you're all wonderful and well-behaved and very intelligent and well-spoken and very polite. So thank you. Oh, I see that. Clap for you too. So we snap. Do you snap? Snap fingers for one another when somebody says something. Do you do that? When somebody does something cool in American schools, the kids snap their fingers for them.
Yes.
So, and then in terms of other things, I do know that a lot of American companies and Western companies have dumped a lot of tech waste on India. I think that Western countries need to get serious about cleaning up some of their mess that they've created in other places. I know that you are going to soon have the largest population,
Yeah.
surpass
Lucky
your
record.
population.
Yes.
And aren't you about to have like this, your 75th celebration
Yeah.
of democracy?
Yeah, yeah. Recently,
India is the largest democracy.
yes, it is the largest democracy.
For my iPhone.
Glenda, we have
Yes.
come to the end of the session. So before I end the session, could you please give a final message to my students?
My final what?
Final message.
Oh, just study hard and get as much education as you can. This is probably culturally inappropriate, but especially the young women. No, my father gave me advice when I was a kid, and I was very young when he died, and he told me to always be able to take care of myself, not to be dependent on other people, but always be able to take care of myself. And I shared that advice with students, boys and girls. So get as much education as you can. I know that you're already doing that, and read and learn about other places, which you're already doing, and doing a much better job than most American students do. So